As some of you might know, I am an absolute sucker for mystery and romance, so October is basically the dream month for me. Today we have a mix of different vibes from sweet romances with supernatural beings, murder mysteries and detective stories, Japanese spirits in a haunted forest, to living a vampire's life in Eastern Europe, or deciding over life and death in a cozy life sim. As you can see, we are entering ghostly territory this episode, so get warm and comfy and enjoy Halloween season with the following games. Last Time I Saw You is a coming-of-age adventure set in the 1980s in Japan. What immediately caught my attention was the beautifully hand-drawn backgrounds, which are heavily inspired by Japanese mythology and lore. I have always had a soft spot for beautifully crafted art styles, especially when they evoke a sort of a nostalgic feeling, and this game nailed it for me the moment I saw it. The story combines supernatural elements with a heartwarming, cozy narrative at its core. It is about love, friendship, and acceptance, and it is based on the developer's personal experience with Heartbreak, which makes it even more intriguing to me. I'm really looking forward to exploring this mystery title where we navigate a haunted forest filled with spirits like Japanese yokai and uncover more about a mysterious girl who appears in our dreams and a curse plaguing our town. We'll also solve side quests, collect items, and tackle environmental puzzles along the way. If you like, you can play the demo right now on Steam, or you can wait until the game rolls out on October 10th. I'm so happy that 9RIP is finally coming to the West, because I have played it in Japanese and I fell in love with it immediately. It kind of reminded me of those late-night ghost story sessions with friends when we would sit by the warm campfire and listen to scary urban legends that would give us shivers down our spine. It is a horror otome visual novel, but it does have lighthearted elements because, after all, it is once again all about romance. In 9RIP, we romance 1 out of 9 supernatural characters from different spiritual realms. We have the realm of school ghost stories, Japanese urban legends, the realm of demonic creatures, and the spirit world. And each realm has its own set of characters and different horror and romance levels, which I really liked. My personal favorite is Koyo, the typical tsundboy who comes off as aloof and cold, but rest assured he has a heart of gold. The story revolves around solving the mystery surrounding people getting spirited away, and this actually happens to the main character. She gets pulled into a world of ghosts and other supernatural beings that are all based on Japanese urban legends and ghost stories. 9RIP is also not completely linear, so we get the option to visit different locations at different times, and by making all these choices about where to go and how to respond, we will influence our main character's sanity or insanity and change the complete outcome of the story. Just as a fair warning though, the official website states that there are mild jump scares included, so definitely proceed with caution.
When I graduated from the medical academy, they made me swear an oath. First, do no harm. But they didn't know what I would become.
What would the Halloween season be without vampires? In a Cabernet, we get to take on the role of a young vampire in an Eastern European-inspired world as she struggles with her morality and supernatural nature. Essentially, in this game, we get to choose how to live our own vampire life, whether we embrace empathy and morals or succumb to our vampiric instincts. I have always been very fascinated by vampire lore, and this game seems to let me live out that dark and mysterious fantasy I have always been imagining. It is a narrative fantasy RPG where we can level up by making different choices and planning our day. Basically, we live a vampire life, we choose our wardrobe, and pursue arts and science while interacting with various characters and deciding whether to spare people's lives or take them. And I'm really curious how we are going to go about socializing with everyone and possibly getting closer to people while we are at the same time struggling with our urge to devour them for dinner. There is a demo available right now, so you can try it out if you think this is up your alley. I definitely think this game has a lot of interesting charm to it. I mean, who doesn't like vampires?
Strange. Thought he'd stay and master his ghostly powers. He did complete his unfinished business, though. Oh well, back to work.
So this new Sims expansion pack is a pretty big deal for me, and I think for many of you as well. If you remember, the Paranormal pack and the Werewolf expansion were the most popular and well-received DLCs we have ever had, and since then we've been begging for more and more supernatural stuff. Well, and they've finally listened to us. The new expansion, Life and Death, drops on October 31st, and it is absolutely packed with new features this time. It lets us climb the Grim Reaper's or the Mortician's career ladder and decide the fate of our Sims. It looks like we can play as ghosts or meet other ghosts from the afterlife in a completely new world. We are also getting funerals and graveyards just like we've been asking for, and even rebirth. This is super exciting for me. I usually avoid having my Sims die at all costs, but with this new expansion I might actually change my mind. I am a huge fan of everything supernatural, though I know it is something very subjective. Some Simmers enjoy their Sims experience completely without anything supernatural, while I almost exclusively play with supernatural elements. But if you love Halloween vibes and all things spoopy, then this will probably be the perfect DLC for you.
Second chance.
And I'll try to get it right.
My name is Max Caulfield. These days, I'm a photographer in residence at Caledon University. New place, new people. I'm doing pretty well for myself.
If you are familiar with Life is Strange, then this franchise likely holds a whole lot of meaning to you, just like it does for me. While a double exposure looks like it will be even darker than the first game, I think the immense nostalgia and the feeling of familiarity are going to make it feel really cozy to finally play Life is Strange again. In a double exposure, Max Caulfield is back, but she is not 18 anymore, she is 28 now. And I have a feeling this story will be much more mature, and it will be focusing on personal growth, not just from Max, but for us too, as we see how she's all grown up just like we have. The game will also be about friendship, love, and solving a murder mystery surrounding Max's friend Safi. And there are rumored romance options including Moses, Amanda, or possibly even Safi. It is going to be really interesting to see where they take the story, especially since the developers have confirmed that they will respect both of the endings from the first game as canon. We may or may not see Chloe again, but whatever happens, the choices we make in double exposure are meant to carry even more weight than before. Unlike the first game, we won't have the ability to rewind time and fix our mistakes, which makes me both nervous and excited, to be honest. But at this time, Max actually has a new power to explore parallel timelines, allowing her to investigate different outcomes and explore a world where her friend Safi is still alive. I'm really looking forward to a story that feels nostalgic but also highly emotional, and I think it's the perfect game to dive into, and I will be playing it on day one. As a fan of both Ace Attorney and Bustafellows, Mirage Noir seems to be evoking a similar feeling of nostalgia. This one is a detective otome novel where we solve mysteries, but it primarily focuses on the theme of found family, and it will be launching on Kickstarter on October 22nd. Don't worry about it being too dark, it is actually more lighthearted and has a good bit of comedy injected. If you have played Ace Attorney, you will probably know what I mean. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think it's the kind of game that will put a smile on our face. In Mirage Noir, we play as a detective searching for a serial killer, but the cherry on top is that we get to romance 1 out of 4 love interests, each with their own story and a route to unlock. And honestly, the character artwork is simply beautiful. If you enjoy playing detective, you will also be happy to know that there are deduction segments where we search for clues and identify the culprit. There are also other mini-games including point-and-click mechanics and a real-time mode. It is an interesting concept that makes the game more fun than just reading a linear novel. There will be a bigger demo released on October 14th, which is almost 5 hours long, so if you love mystery and detective themes as much as I do, it is definitely worth checking out. But what games are you looking forward to in October? Dragon Age the Veilguard perhaps? Please do let me know in the comment section. But that's everything from me. Have a lovely day, my friends, and see you in the next video.